It's Saturday, March 16th, 2024. I'm watching, it's the St. Patrick's Day parade, the year 2024. I'm still in the United States of America with a Federal Reserve note, an ONE, and an In God We Trust, uh, George Washington. And then there's Jackson with the White House on the back of it. Um, so I'm watching this. The Grand Marshal this year is somebody from County Mayo. And I'm listening very carefully. There's two commercials that I thought were very interesting. One that was not so happy with Kathy Hochul. But it mentions also what and who St. Patrick was, which again, I don't really, in the series of rooms I'm in, I don't really get very clean information, so this is helpful of what's up here. But then they're running this commercial like they gave, like Guinness is an Irish brand, and for some reason they gave the contract to Jason Momoa. I'm like, why would they give a champagne and orange? Like, what is that about? So, and they're trying to pass him off as Irish. I'm like, he's named after a Girl Scout cookie. Like the Samoans. I like him and The Rock. So why are they going after the Irish ID? I don't understand that whatsoever. Not happy about it, but here we are at like the Emerald City's where now? Um so um I'm just gonna pull up those two commercials of concern. One not so much, the other one is apparently this union worker, who's the president of the union worker, he's saying that St. Patrick's um, drove all the snakes out back into the sea. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be just lovely? So I'm going to pause this for a second. And at the beginning, they said something about there were 2 million Irish moved onto Manhattan and they marched down Fifth Avenue. I don't know what that was about. Again, so I'm just making a note of it for myself, for me to have some kind of, I guess, crutch to look back on what the humans are alerting me of. There's also a man on there that was talking about 90 years within the subway system of important Irish immigrants. So I'm going to pause this yet again. And I'm going to pull up those specific interviews and commercials just to have one unified um, of what's going on this date. So here we are. So I'm watching The Beauty of Ireland. My grandmother came from Ireland. So I'm looking at beautiful garden of people, like gorgeous garden of people, just with their families walking down. And then all of a sudden it goes to this new Guinness commercial. They gave the contract to a non-Irishman, and I'm like, what? Like, what kind of message does that send?
Continue here with the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
The St. Patrick's Day Parade is brought to you locally by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield on a mission to improve the health of New Yorkers.
Come by.
Come by.
Now, by the way, I have a local in the Bayside area who looks like she could be relative to him. She refers to herself, not to insult anybody, but like again, because I've seen Korean introduced in the media, the acceptable theater represented for genetic Korean, and she looks more Jason Momoa, but she calls herself Korean and Arabic, so I don't know what that hybrid is really called. But I know it's not Irish. So that's, again, it gets really confusing.
Flanagan! I'm Irish!
You're 2% Irish.
Yeah, I know.
See that spirit? That's all you need.
Slugs, everyone!
All you need for what? I don't understand. Okay, so this is the, it says paid for by transport. It says paid for by Transport Workers Union.
Centuries ago, St. Patrick famously drove Ireland's snakes into the sea, purging the Emerald Island of these reptiles forever. But he missed one. Now we wish St. Patrick would come back and rid New York of Governor Kathy Hochul before she drags the whole Democratic Party down with her by attacking working families' health care, retiree benefits, and wages. I'm John Samuelson, International President of the Transport Workers Union, and Kathy Hochul's gotta go.
So now this is the beginning of the parade.
Of course, things have changed quite a bit since that first march in 1762. 1762. Today, 2 million people will be here along Fifth Avenue as we watch 150,000 people head up Fifth Avenue along that famous green line. You can see some of the people already gathered here in the stands. And of course, as we look up to the skies, we are enjoying the luck of the Irish in the weather department in a big way. The sun is shining as bright as a pair of smiling Irish eyes. Good morning to you. I'm Gus Rosendale here once again with Tommy. And Tommy, where's your better half? What happened?
Well, she didn't sleep in, Gus. A lot of people think she slept in. No, she didn't. The parade committee made her the aide at large to the Grand Marshal today, so it was a great honour for her, and she will be joining us in a little while. But it's always great to be here with you, Gus. On Fifth Avenue, we are honouring St. Patrick, patron saint of Ireland, patron saint of New York. And you know, Ireland's only a small country. I mean, we've just gone over 5 million in the population, first time in 171 years. But yet now there'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of celebration of St. Patrick around the world today. And what it shows you is that the Irish, wherever they went, they brought St. Patrick with them. And not alone that, but to convince the people that they were going to, that St. Patrick should be their saint. So they should be very proud of their loyalty to St. Patrick. We are.
And so many people come from around the world to be here in New York. How would you describe the atmosphere, and why do so many people feel like New York is the place to be on this day?
Yeah, it's the case of no matter where you go, Gus, everybody talks about the St. Patrick's Day parade. When I was working with ESPN, I go to foreign places and they say, what about the parade in New York?
Yeah.
Is it as big as it's supposed to be? People don't believe it. Plus the fact that it's gone on for 163 years, something like that. I mean, without ever breaking, even during the pandemic, the parade went up Fifth Avenue. So it has that allure to it that once you mention St. Patrick's, New York parade, that's always the one.
And things have changed. Of course, we've been broadcasting the parade for a long time here on WNBC, and we continue to do so, but also people can watch this from across the world as we're streaming this internationally. So we're going to have so many people here in person, watching here in the tri-state area at home, but also on their computers and screens. You think about that. Anywhere on the planet right now, you can watch.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing when you start thinking about it. And, you know, I've been involved with the St. Patrick's Day for a long, long time, and it's certainly come a long way. You know, we have a famous saint in Louth too, the matron saint of Ireland. That's Saint Bridget. I come from Knockbridge. She comes from Ford. I wear the little Saint Bridget's cross here because Knockbridge, translated into Gaelic, means Canuck breed. Back in English, it's the Hill of Bridget. So here we have Saint Bridget. Let's find out all about her.
We celebrate St. Bridget on the 1st of February every year, and she has a fascinating history. She was a saint who stood for healing and for fertility and for health on the land, and she died 1500 years ago, so there were big celebrations, and there's a new festival in town which is St. Bridget's Day. So we love to celebrate Bridget in all her forms with the coming of spring from the start of February.
Bridget was born in Fahart, which is very close to where we are in Dundalk here. Her history is amazing because she was born into a family where her father was a chieftain and her mother was his bondswoman or his slave. So she was actually born into slavery. She grew up, she decided to dedicate her life to God and not get married. which is very unusual at the time, and she moved to Kildare and founded a monastery, a monastic city in Kildare, where she developed schools of poetry and art, looked after the poor, the needy, the disenfranchised, and created a huge legacy, which we still celebrate now, especially in this year of Bridget 1500. When Bridget was born, Ireland was in a huge time of change and transition because we were being introduced to a new religion, Christianity, but we had our old religion, and in that religion we had lots of gods and goddesses, and one of our most important was Bridget the goddess. So Bridget the goddess had many attributes. She was the goddess of healing, smithcraft and poetry. She was associated with fertility and new life. Bridget brings the spring. She was very much connected to the land, and people were very much in awe of Bridget because she created all life. She made the crops grow. She brought fish into the rivers, and she controlled the weather. So she was a very powerful and important goddess. She was universally loved in Ireland, so a lot of her attributes were then taken on into the folklore of the saint, St. Bridget, who came along in Christian times. The story of the cross is St. Bridget was tending to a dying chieftain. In some stories, the chieftain is her father, and she's sitting beside the dying chieftain, and at that time it was the tradition to have rushes strewn across the floor for cleanliness and freshness. So she picks up some of the rushes and she starts to weave a cross. So she's weaving the cross and she's explaining to the chieftain that Jesus, our Lord, died on the cross for us. And she explains about the Father, Son, Holy Spirit on the cross. And then the chieftain decides that he would like to be brought into the new religion, which is Christianity, and he becomes a Christian before he dies.
We're standing at Market Square, and behind me is a beautiful structure called the Northern Lights Bridget 1500 series. The installation is about 12 metres high and about 90 metres long. The concept was all about Bridget. It was said that she bred light into the mouth of winter, so we wanted to create a structure that could do that, so people could come and visit and experience, in a very, very modern sort of sense of the word. She does breathe light and life into winter.
She was a female leader. She believed in equality because the monastics behind us was a dual monastery, the only one of its kind in the country. She believed in kindness, and she actually takes on the attributes of everything good about Irish society. She was connected with smithcraft, education and peace, something that we need to promote a lot more of in today's world.
One of the few pieces of writing which we have and believe was actually composed by St. Bridget is this prayer. I would like to have the men of heaven in my own house, with vats of good cheer laid out for them. I would like to have the three Marys, their fame is so great. I would like people from every corner of heaven. I would like them to be cheerful in their drinking. I would like to have Jesus too here amongst them. I would like a great lake of beer for the King of Kings. I would like to be watching heaven's family, drinking it through all eternity.
And Tommy, we're back here live. We're taking a close look at what is on your lapel. Why don't you tell us about that?
Okay.
I don't know what the Fighting 69th is, but I'm looking at it as it walks down. And it does not look Irish at all. It doesn't even look familial. It looks like somebody else's children. And I don't know why they were uniformed and put in this Fighting 69. What's the outcome going to be if it's not represented properly?
Long live Long Island.
Well, it's great to have you back here on 5th Avenue as the Fighting 69 stream by us. But remember, you know, this parade is run by volunteers. Nobody gets paid in this parade, and it takes an awful lot of money to put it on. And if you would like to subscribe, if you would like to throw in a few bucks to keep the parade going, you have, I believe it's called a QR code. I'm not really that up to date on all these things, but the QR code is there. You want to click onto that there and you can make a donation. Hilary Byrne and Sean Lane would be forever grateful to you. So that's a good place to give your money. Make sure to parade.
I mean, again, like all throughout, all of the faces that just went by, I'm looking at them and I'm like, They don't look Irish at all. Like, not even close to looking Irish.
It keeps going every year. Thank you.
You are state of the art, Tommy.
Thank
No
you.
doubt about that. And talk about that. The work of the parade goes on all year. We see it. We see the fruition of all that work today. But this is a year-long effort, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, putting together something like this. I mean, when you imagine this parade is going to go on.
This looks like a foster family or something. I mean, but from like, it's just, I'm RH sensitive, and I know for certain that if I was in a blood bank, I wouldn't be able to accept any, like, charity from anything that's walking at the moment, just to put some perspective on, like, why is this important? And so now, where I am still inside County Queens, that's where this is. The iconic, whatever this represents, I don't know, but it's been here. It represents its iconic Queens. There's some stuff that's going on at the moment, which I've been trying to document. My son is in one of the schools, and this is my mother's jersey for the school that he's going to at the moment. And the emblem. So it's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxies, broken. And I've been, again, I guess it's part of like the in God we trust, for ONE purpose, with 48 states that and then the 50, like it's, so, it just seems pertinent and important, at getting like heraldry and genealogy correct. And I don't know how to strive that symbiosis or that symbiotic whatever in the whatever. But here we are. I think the first document that I put on was last year. And so now this is the second year that I'm documenting it. Last year, my son walked in the local Bayside parade as a Boy Scout. But we've been to some of the other Bayside parades.